What transpired when Kimmi discovered Maurice's greatest secret will astound you. It was more than just another story about an affair. It was a scandal that shocked everyone around them and shattered their relationship. With their strong marriage, close family ties, and reputation as one of the most grounded couples in their group, Kimmi and Maurice appeared to be the ideal couple from the outside. But as everyone knows, appearances can be deceiving. Maurice had become aloof, acting reticent, and avoiding genuine conversations, as well as arriving home later than usual. Although Kimmi initially dismissed it, she knew deep down that something wasn't quite right. He was stressed, perhaps overwhelmed. She could feel the shift in their relationship's energy in the way he avoided making eye contact and would become agitated when she asked him basic questions about his day. She didn't want to make any accusations against him without evidence, though. Then the warning signs appeared. Strange, late-night calls, him protecting his phone as if it were government property, and conversations that ended the minute she entered the picture. Kimmi began to listen more intently, and one evening when Maurice arrived home late once more, she trusted her instincts and looked at his phone. Her heart sank at what she discovered. Maurice had been leading a completely different life behind her back, as evidenced by the messages, photos, and other documents. The woman was also someone Kimmi knew, a member of their social circle, not just a random stranger. The betrayal became even more painful as a result. But rather than sobbing in private, Kimmi did something unexpected. She devised a plan. Rather than simply confronting Maurice, she held Maurice and the other woman accountable in front of everyone who believed they had it all together, turning what had been a personal betrayal into a public humiliation. Now, if you ever saw Kimmi and Maurice together in public, you would swear they had the kind of relationship that inspires love themes. They were that couple, you know, the ones, really. Their constant coordination, smiles, and unity made them an inspiration to those around them. Other couples aspired to share that kind of connection. It's not just a hunch either. Kimmi was Maurice's partner in everything, not just his wife. These two handled difficult family situations as a team, attended events together, and posted adorable pictures all the time. The truth is that sometimes the couples who appear to be the strongest on the outside are actually the ones having problems in private, and Kimmi was clueless about what was going on underneath. From the outside, they appeared to be the ideal couple, but Kimmi was unaware of the reality hiding behind their flawless smiles. Everything changed when the signs began to pile up, but what happens if the person you've been with forever begins to act differently? Initially, it was minor issues. Though he wasn't really there, Maurice remained. Have you ever had a person in the same room as you but feel completely different on an emotional level? It was Maurice. He began working later, and as meetings dragged on, he found himself holding his phone tightly and making sure it was facing down whenever Kimmi entered the room. Such energy is not only strange, but it conveys a lot. Kimmi would inquire simply, "How was your day?" And he would either become defensive or provide an evasive response. Let's take a moment to discuss that phone. You know, when someone feels that uncomfortable about a simple question, it's guilt. Every time it buzzed, he would twitch uneasily, as if he was afraid she might notice something. On occasion, he would even leave the room to respond. Kimmi isn't a fool, but she also didn't want to make assumptions. She reasoned that it might have been stress or a heavy workload, as we all try to be understanding. However, the indicators simply kept mounting. When your heart knows, it knows, even though she initially believed she was overanalyzing it. Kimmi's gut kept warning her that something wasn't right, and she was experiencing anxiety and trouble sleeping. Kimmi made the decision one evening to stop speculating and begin investigating. That evening, Maurice had arrived home late once more. He claimed to have been at a meeting, avoided eye contact, and immediately went to the shower, leaving his phone unlocked on the dresser. Kimmi didn't hesitate because she had a gut feeling that this was the right time. She picked it up and began to scroll, and let me tell you what she discovered. There were more than a few flirtatious messages. This went all out. We're talking about months worth of romantic good mornings and good nights, messages saying, "I miss you," and photos of the two of them together in locations Kimmi knew she didn't accompany him. As if it were normal, he was planning dinners, trips, and other activities. He even saved pictures of them. This was a whole emotional affair with benefits, a second life, not just a casual hookup. The world ceased for her. It was a serious, covert relationship, not just a passing fancy. The treachery was evident in every word she read. The identity of the other woman, however, was what really crushed her heart. That wasn't even the worst part. Now, here's the thing. When Kimmi eventually caught sight of the woman Maurice was skulking around with, It wasn't just any old woman from out of town. Rather, it was someone she knew, and not just vaguely. This was someone from their social circle. Someone who had attended birthday parties, family get-togethers, barbecues, and even romantic evenings. For example, she had shared laughter and bread with this woman. Imagine how that felt then. You believe that while they are having an affair with your husband, you are simply enjoying a casual get-together and grinning in their face? That is not only rude, it is extremely evil. This was a completely new level of betrayal, not just cheating. Because now it's not just about Maurice going out, it's also about someone in her inner circle criticizing her and hatching a scheme behind her back. How in the world do you even comprehend that? People react differently to that kind of thing. And to be honest, that's when the heartbreak turned into rage, because it turns into war the moment you realize it's personal and planned. But rather than sobbing in private, Kimmi made the brave decision to take charge. She had a plan. Instead of yelling, throwing plates, or blowing up the phone, Kimmi went silent instead of exploding. And you can tell when a woman is planning something by that silence. Green scrads, call logs, calendar dates, and photos were among the many things she began gathering, and she began piecing everything together like a detective. And what was it she discovered? In addition to having a brief affair with Maurice, the side chick was attempting to be her. She had begun dressing like Kimmi, attending events that Kimmi had to miss, and even making an effort to get in touch with Maurice's family. The worst part was that she was gradually relocating to places where Kimmi had previously been. This was a strategic takeover, not love. Kimmi realized then that someone was attempting to take her life, not just an infidelity-prone husband. She therefore concluded that it was time to change the course of events. Thus, Kimmi did something unexpected. She made her suffering public. I mean public when I say public. After waiting for the ideal occasion, a large family gathering where everyone would be present, Kimmi stood up. She began by outlining how she had observed Maurice's behavior change. Next came the evidence. She took out her phone and put all of the dates, messages, and screenshots on it. She even publicly called out the woman's name in front of everyone. There were only facts, brutal facts, and no shouting or mayhem. People were in awe. Since the receipts are staring you in the face and the side chick is unable to even look Kimmi in the eye, Maurice attempted to speak, but really, what can you say? In a single instant, Kimmi transformed from a betrayed wife to the person everyone was rooting for because, well, they could feel her strength. Her bravery was in turning the pain into strength and not letting the entire circumstance break her. It had immediate repercussions right in front of the people who needed to see it the most. According to one commenter, Kimmi handled this like a queen. That's how you reclaim your power. Another responded, the fact that she did it at a family event, that's boss level, and I'm here for it. The stage and the receipts were hers. There was no simply returning to normal after Kimmi revealed the truth in front of everyone, as you are all aware. Naturally, Maurice made an effort to clean it up, all the lines you expect when someone gets caught red-handed, but this time, that didn't work. Since respect quickly evaporates once trust is lost, his entire image just fell apart. People began to view him differently, friends stopped contacting him, and business contacts ceased to communicate. In the meantime, people respected Kimmi's honesty and her refusal to back down. In addition to being hurt, she felt empowered and ensured that the world was aware of the truth. It was not what happened to her that made her the woman that everyone admired, but rather how she responded to it. One question remains, though. Even after the smoke has cleared, the key query now is, what occurs after all of this? Will Kimmi ever have the same expression when she looks at Maurice? For example, after trust has been so severely damaged, how can it be restored? Some couples decide to end their relationship, while others choose to live apart or seek counseling. The twist, though, is this. Things are still complicated, according to people close to the couple. While they appear to be working on it one moment, Kimmi is posting messages about moving on and healing the next. It's difficult to tell, to be honest, if this is the end of the book or just a rough chapter in their story. Will they start over, or will this be the last straw? Because let's face it, some betrayals are so profound that love alone may not be sufficient to mend them. We would like to know, though, what you would do if you were in Kimmi's position. Would you come out like she did and tell the world everything, or would you just quietly leave without any publicity or drama? Since everyone has an opinion in this case, feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section. If you haven't already, please hit the like button, subscribe, and enable notifications. If anything new comes to light, you can be sure we'll continue to follow this story.